Welcome to the IslandStats.com football show, your weekly dose of all the action from Bermuda's top football leagues. We bring you in-depth coverage of the Premier and First Divisions, results, highlights, analysis, and exclusive interviews. We also keep you up to date with the latest news and developments from the Bermuda Football Association. Stay tuned for the IslandStats.com football show, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about the beautiful game in Bermuda. Now let's join the IslandStats.com football show team. And good evening and welcome to this edition of the IslandStats.com football show. I'm your host, Earl Basden. Joining me is co-host Andrew Griffith and co-host Garrett Punchy Dill. Well, gentlemen, it's been a goal fest of for this weekend in the First and Premier Division. Let me just run down the scores that we have from this weekend. On Friday night, it's Devonshire Cougars 1, Devonshire Colts 1. On Saturday night, it was PHC Zebras 0, Dandytown Hornets 3. Today at Police Field, it was Young Men's Social Club 4, Boulevard Blazers 5. And up at White Hill Field, it was Paget Lions 0, St. George's Colts 3. Down at Lords and St. David's, it was Crossroads 2, North Village Rams 5. Last night in the First Division, it was Robin Hood 2, St. David's 1. Up at Somerset Cricket Club today, it was Somerset Trojans 0, Somerset Eagles 0. And at Southampton Oval, it was Southampton Rangers 3, Wolves 3. So, plenty of goals and plenty of action to talk about. Let's start with Friday night. Punchy, obviously, Devonshire Colts wanting to keep that momentum going. They managed they scored early and then Cougars would equalize, but to finish with a 1-1 draw that they weren't defeated and they kept they took over the lead of the Premier Division with PHC and Dandytown Idol. But just talk a little bit about Devonshire Colts and them drawing 1-1 with Devonshire Cougars.
Oh yeah, I know that was for me, for Devonshire Colts. Even though it's 1-1 and they got away with they got the 1-1 draw, but I'm sure in the back of their minds they felt that they really needed those 3 points on Friday night. Mm-hmm. Not that they're out of the race, not at all.
They're actually still top of the table on goal difference.
That's right. Yeah. So, that was an important match for them. But again, to get that 1-1, you're looking at we're reaching the stage of this of the league where it's important that you don't lose. Mm-hmm. If you could pick up a point and then the next game you could pick up 3 points. So you stay in the race. That's saying that you stay, you stay close to Dandytown, which is, and now I just think that would be a good thing for Colts, for the league itself, that Colts can, really, really show what I said about them since I've been, about them this year, is that there's something different about them this year. Yeah. And so I just think they're going to be in the race right down to the wire.
Yeah. Griff, I'm going to come to you because Devonshire Colts still have a game in hand because the game that wasn't played with them and Paget has yet to be decided, whether it be a replay or whatever, because nothing has come out from the association with regards to that match. So whether it be replayed or whether it won't be replayed, I don't know. We just have to wait and see. But looking at Devonshire Colts and Devonshire Cougars, Griff, give us a sense of how you felt, that point was important for Devonshire Colts.
I got to go to this game, and for the neutral fan, it was a good game. It's like watching two good chess players. They were going back and forth, each giving us as good as they got, and it was a good game to watch. So I think, it's a draw, but again, the same way I felt about Cougars when they played Village, there's not much difference between these two teams. They're pretty evenly matched, and all the difference will be one mistake to get somebody over the top. So a 1-1 draw, it was reflective of what I saw. They're both pretty good. Just I guess Colts has been more consistent. That's why they have more points.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there you have it. And Colts moved up on the standings. when we look at the Saturday night game, obviously with Dandytown and PHC, now with Colts moving on to the 25 points at the time, Dandytown would have had 23, PHC had 24. So everything was still tight, but it was going to be who came out the better last night. And in the end, it was Dandytown winning 3-0. Were you surprised by the fact that it was 3-0, Griff, or did you just think that Dandytown was the better or feeling better?
No, I remember I picked this game as a draw. I thought it would be just like the Devonshire Colts and Devonshire Cougars game. Two good teams going at it, and nobody really come out on top because they were both, I guess, I thought they would have both been fighting not to make the mistake. So it would have been a draw. But so as we went to a funeral yesterday at the weekend, the schools kept coming in like 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Like, what? What's going on? But I saw Kyle right one after the game, and he explained once they got the penalty early, he felt a bit aggrieved about the penalty. He said after that they were fighting an uphill battle, and he said it felt it changed the game. But those things happen. So hats off to Dandytown. That result definitely surprised me. But it's like the Manchester Derby yesterday. People are upset because they felt the Manchester United defender Delowe should have been sent off early for a red card, a rash tackle, but he wasn't. They turned it around and they went 2-0. Those things happen in football. A decision doesn't go your way, or you got a break and you capitalize on it. So that's what happens.
I if they're talking about the penalty, I guess their fans and their players will look at it one way, but the reality of football is there was a clear handball on the goal line preventing a goal. Whether it hit his shoulder first and hit his arm after,
Right.
It was a clear handball on the goal line, and the result was you get a player sent off and a penalty. I mean, the rules were the rules and are the rules kind of thing. You know what I mean? PHC might feel as if they were aggrieved, but the reality is just that it was a clear handball on the goal line that prevented the ball from going in the net. Referee had no other choice. You could criticize, and that's what happens in Bermuda. Whenever a team loses, they criticize the officiating. But what about the incident that that took place? And you talk about well, this should have went our way and that should have went our way. It didn't. But you have to pick yourself up. And what about the other two girls? Dandytown ran at them. Punchy, give us your thoughts on a team like Dandytown. They're now in second place, only on goal difference behind Devonshire Colts.
Yeah, I think that was, that like you guys have listened to people talk today at the game today about that decision. It was correct decision. But when you're playing in a game of that importance, two top teams, and you lose a defender, after the 13th minute?
Yes.
Wow, it's a battle. Now it's very difficult. But like Griff said, it's 14 minutes. There was a 14th minute. My thought would be how well that they adjust. Did they make some technical changes? Because sometimes you just have to. Mm-hmm. So you can actually make it very difficult playing with 10 men for the opposing side to kind of just get, just have their way with you. But about Dandytown, I think there's, for them, very, very important 3 points.
Yeah.
And I think
after last week losing the Colts, yeah.
That's right. That's a very important point 3 points for them. And it's really we'll get into the place now, like Griff said, it's going to be like when these top teams meet each other, it's about who's going to take the chances. It seems like it's coming like that. It's going to come down to that. And I still think that it can go either way for any of those 4 teams. It can go either way. But It seems this way now that Dandytown and Devonshire Colts have to jump on the PHC in the North Village. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure that was a real important 3 points for Dandytown. The coaching staff must be, really overjoyed with that victory.
Yeah.
My assessment of Dandytown season is I think they played the best ball, most attractive, well, good players, but I think the weakness that it keeps keep seeing early in the season was that once they get up on teams, they don't put them away and they kind of coast, and it allows teams to get back in. So if there's this game is an example of them figuring it out and stomping on PHC when they have a man sent off, then I don't think anybody will touch them if they have gotten that killer instinct.
Just getting word that Dandy Tom made sure that Enrique Russell just didn't get it. He didn't get the supply that has been usually getting. So that's another thing that would negate PHC's goal scoring ability. You stop the leading goal scorer, and you have a chance to win the game, or just keep them quiet, kind of thing. So
that's easier to do when you have a man advantage.
Well, that's true. Just to let everybody know, I'm coming right back to you, Punchy. Just to let everyone know, we will be joined by 2 of the under 17 girls who will represent Bermuda starting this weekend at the National Sports Center for the under 17 Women's World Cup qualifiers. We'll be joined by 2 of the players at the bottom of the hour. Punchy, you was going to say something?
I'll say that, making adjustments like this, it goes on the coaching staff. And that's what's so good about what's happening this year. We're talking about the coaches at the PHC coaches, the North Village coaches, the Denny Town coaching staff, and also the Devonshire Cougars coaching staff and the Devonshire Colts. And so, just saying about making adjustments. Now, you're done. What Denny Town did must have been to close on the midfield, so the supply route to Russell was not there. And it gets on the coaching and how you go about doing it. And then the players that you have, can they implement it also? And it seemed like it worked. I think, with adding what Griffiths to the way Denny Town played, it looks like the coaching staff is, if they lose a match, you could bet there's going to be a turnaround in the next match. And how they go about doing it too also is most important.
Definitely. Well, let's take a look at today's matches, and we'll start up at White Hill Field, where St. George is desperate for points. Beat Paget Lions 3-0. Paget were above St. George's by 2 points. They were on 9. St. George's on 7, tied with Young Men's Social Club going into the day. But St. George's needed a victory. They needed a morale booster. Last week, that draw, 3-3 draw with Boulevard would have felt like a heavy defeat. And they had to, come back from it. And here they are scoring 3 goals in a game, but this time getting a shutout. Griff, are you surprised by the result with St. George's and Paget?
Yes, I'm very surprised. I thought it would be a close game and Paget will come out on top. But I'm wondering now, since they moved and they're not at White Hill. I know I spoke to Antoine Russell before. He said he thinks every game in Bermuda is a home game because it's so small. But I wonder, is there a difference for them now leaving Rangers and now playing at White Hill? Does it feel like a?
And then the other thing could be that the size of the fields are different as well. When you're looking at Southampton Oval, when you're looking at White Hill Field, it's a lot more room up at White Hill Field. It's a wider pitch. It might not be as long as other fields, but it's a wider pitch and doesn't suit their style of play because they like to defend and then attack right away. So that creates a problem for them. Punchy, your thoughts on St. George's rebounding after last week's draw with Bottom Club Boulevard and now coming away with a 3-0 win?
It's a really important point. We spoke about that last week about the battle for survival, and that's what we're talking about here too. So those points today were important. But they have a good team. They have good players.
Yeah.
That would be my my problem with them. How consistent are they? And we've seen that. And again, you guys, when you're down down there at the bottom, and you got to play these other teams that are surrounding you, it's difficult. But a real good result for them today. A real good result. And I think they, in terms of the pitch size, I'm glad you guys discussed that also. Who adjusted better? I think, Griffin, your point about leaving that Southampton arena, which is much smaller, compact, but then you're going up to White Hill, which is just like St. David's, wider, but not as long. And I think that plays that goes back to coaching.
Yeah.
That goes back. How do you set your team up in those games? and from that transformation from that area at Southampton up to White Hill. I think it's really important to understand that too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take our first commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about that barn burner up at Police Field, where the Boulevard Blazers, bottom club, Boulevard Blazers, beat the 9th place Young Men's Social Club 5-4. We'll be right back.
You ever crack open a Coke and just perfect?
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
After the holidays, it's all about getting back to balance. Lindo's makes January easy with fresh foods, wholesome options, and the brands you know and love. No extremes, just good food done well. This January, find your rhythm again with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Beneath the cloud blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day, for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian. Digicel is proudly Bermudian.
And welcome back. Well, up at the Police Field, the Boulevard Blazers, 10th place Boulevard Blazers, took on 9th place Young Men's Social Club, and this game went back and forth, so many twists and turns, but in the end, it was the Boulevard Blazers who came out on top 5-4. Punchy, you just mentioned, when you're playing a team that's right around you, the battle is always on, and obviously, Boulevard did not want to go a season without picking up a victory. How important is and they got a big morale booster last week when they drew 3-3 with St. George's, scoring late in that game, and then to come away this time with a 5-4 victory. They must be feeling good about themselves, but still a mountain to climb.
Oh yeah, you're very much so. That victory today is definitely a morale booster for him. I mean, you talking about going through a whole season while winning a game in this division. But what is also important is that again, you guys, the mentality when you fight these two teams, so that when you're down the bottom again, I've been in that predicament with North Village. It feels like, wow, man, can we get out of this? How do you feel? Are you, sometimes your confidence is gone, and but what a Boulevard Blazers is doing now is probably just rolling up the sleeves and say, look, let's put a good shift in. We'll come out the second part of the season, and that is a very good victory today for them. And what kind of, whoa, there must have been some game up there. 9 girls. Whoa, on that pitch?
Yeah. Griff, let me come to you because you saw Social Club beat Paget last week 2-1. And then coming into this game, do you think it could have been a bit of complacency, thinking, okay, we dealt with Paget last week, we're only playing Boulevard this week kind of thing? Or do you just think that, Boulevard on that morale booster from that 3-3 draw last week did enough to get by Social Club today?
I think maybe we might need to go pop in on some Boulevard training sessions. They seem to be a little different now. Whether they have players back from injury or, I don't know, somebody's moved back from the UK. These don't seem to be the same players they had back in October. So something seems like it's going on to have a bit of a resurgence. So again, I'm a little surprised, but it looks like they're playing better. So I think they're going to cause problems for us picking games in the weeks to come.
Well, there you have it. I mean, the fact that they came away with this big victory today only helps their cause. Punchy, just a bit on Social Club, because you know, as I mentioned to Griff, they had that big win last week down at Wellington Oval against Paget, and then come up today and they lose to the Boulevard Blazers.
Yeah. Well, that's again, we're talking about confidence. And with Boulevard, you're right too, Griffith. About it'll be interesting to see who's back playing for Boulevard for these last two results. But with Social Club, you guys, I think we were talking about it. Their fate is in their own hands right now, because it looks an uphill battle for them to survive in this league right now. You look at who they have to play as the season goes on. What's left for them? The teams are going to play against, and the most of them are going to be the teams up the top. They still got to play North Village in the second round, and I'm sure they got Devonshire Colts or Devonshire Cougars also. So it's really for Social Club again. I think my thing is that I don't think they're gonna survive. I don't think so. Even with the displays they put in, they don't give up, but you need a little bit more than quality with them. You can have all the, you can be very in terms of discipline. You can have a good, your mental attitude is good. You have a good fight, your determination, but do you have the quality? Which I don't think they have a lot of it throughout their team.
Yes, yeah.
So last week at the game, it's late in the game, Clay Darrow went off injured. They said he didn't know how bad it was, but his knee seemed like out of place. So I think if they lose him or any other senior players, it's going to allow other teams to key in on Zico, and if they can lock in dog, then I think they're in a real bind to get points.
I think Zico scored 2 today, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And Zico, yeah, 2 goals for him. Yeah, and none for Clay Darrow.
Right. If teams key on Zico and they try to stifle him and he struggles to get off, I think that pretty much is the fate sealed for him.
Yeah. Yeah, right, you guys. Considering the fate is, I think the fate has already been sealed. But what would he do next year?
Clay Darrow he started on the bench.
Yeah,
he started on the bench. So
did he come on?
I don't know.
Yeah, they've really, when you watch them play again, you guys, I've seen them play a couple of times this year, and I've been applauding just their ethic, the work ethic, man. Never give up.
What I found strange about this school last week when they played Paget, Social Club at a center back, a sweeper, he ate up everything in the air. They couldn't get, and he won every ball that came into the box.
Yeah.
Every single thing. And they only scored in the end when they threw in a low cross that got bundled over the line. So I'm surprised that he seemed very capable that all of these goals would go in.
Yeah.
They still, I think. I'm sorry, Earl, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think they still have a problem with goalkeeping too, you guys.
Well, yeah. Both teams have a problem with that because the amount of goals that are going in. Yeah.
That's right. See, that's really important now. If you're going to survive, that's one position that I think both of those teams suffer from.
Yeah.
Quality in the goal.
Yeah. Boulevard's given up 31. Social Club's given up 36.
Wow.
In 12 and 11 games. So.
Yeah.
If you're giving up that many goals, the struggle is real.
The struggle is real. That's right.
Yeah. Just before we take our commercial break and we bring in the youngsters and the coach from the under-17s, let's talk about this North Village and Crossroads game. Obviously, a big game. The North Village, the defending champions, are looking to stay in the hunt. If there's 3 teams above them, slip up, but they keep themselves in it somehow with a big 5-2 victory over Crossroads. Punchy, when we talk about a team like North Village, of late they've been scoring a lot of goals. What has been the change?
Well, I think again, watching them today, and it was a good game. That 5-2 is not a reflection. Is not a reflection. A bad reflection on Crossroads. Trust me, because Crossroads are really surprised at how they played today, and really impressed with them. But the game itself was really a watchable game. Both teams played with quality. They passed the ball around quite well. Some of the goals were scored were really good. But let's get back to North Village scoring these goals now. I think what's happened, the coaching staff have sat down, especially the performance when they lost in the cup against Dendytown. That wasn't a very good performance. So they've changed some game. They've changed how they play. I thought the size of the pitch suited them well. The passing game, and that helped. That was really impressive today. And then there's other things too, such as let's say at the center forward, Pierre Smith came in and played today. Just Pierre Smith, and you guys know him. Mm-hmm. Just a straightforward, out center forward who plays well off the shoulder. And he's also, he's up in age, but what he gives to North Village is just that focus in the middle. And then you've got other players that are playing really well too. Amir Deal is back. He looks like he's getting back to his fine form he was in last year. Mm-hmm. So North Village is really, I think they're capitalized also. What they're doing is making sure, again, that they're compact. They looked at how the goals, if they're giving up goals, how they give them up. But what's been impressive is today what I saw was that the camaraderie in the team is still good. Very few mistakes at the back. The second goal, what Jalen Harvin did was a mistake, but he paid up for it because he scored the fifth goal. He actually committed a crime. The ball was passed back to him deep, and there was the oncoming, pressure was applied. Instead of him just passing the ball back to the goalkeeper, he just tried to roll the guy and fake him. The guy took the ball from him, then he fouled him. And from the result, the free kick event, it was 4-2. But the point that I'm making is why is North Village scoring goals? I think, again, at this part of the season, there's a lot of, there's still got some players that are injured. Jai Bean still going to be out for a while. I think he has a hamstring pull. But I think the pattern how they're playing now, and, they're getting players in the box. The quality today in the box across it were good. So I think that's also something that they've done. Picking up on the quality when they are in possession of the ball, and how they're going to be, who else is going to be scoring goals for them. And look how they go. The goals were sure today, really. Yeah. But Nori, the young Nori, I think he got both feet penalties. He scored 2 penalties. Yeah. I think he's a very clever player. He helps also. But he's also looked like he's got a niggling little injury too. Yeah. So that's what I think of North Village now. I think they've really, clicking into, again, that type of gear that they had before without Jonte, Jai, and Shield Smith. So, again, the scoreline doesn't reflect the quality that I saw with Crossroads now, you guys. Trust me.
Yeah. Griff, you look at a team like Crossroads, they were running hard at the beginning of the season. They're not a bad team. They're a gritty team that like to fight. But over the last, I would say, 2 months, things haven't quite gone their way.
I'm surprised because they were in first place at one point early on in the season, and we thought because of the players they had and like I say, in the discipline, well coach, that they would be a force to be reckoned with. But now it looks like because they got their points early, they're not going to get relegated. They're not going to win, so they're just stuck in the middle of the table. So rather that, because they have nothing really to play for, rather that's going to cause them to drop. I guess that's up to the coaching and the players, but. I'm surprised they are where they are. Like you said, they've been stuck on these same points for like a couple months now, right?
Yeah. If I can add to that about what I saw today with Crossroads, the coaching staff is doing a wonderful job. I'm telling you guys, the way they made the substitutions and how they tried to, they had quite a few. They had a few chances and they created these chances. They look much better organized, but I still think that their problem lies in these type of games, giving up goals and then actually scoring them also when your chances come. Because and when the score was 4-2, that the score could have ended up 4 with a couple of mistakes. But again, that's where I think the problem lies. But they don't have the numbers, and I can see it coming through, the numbers that they have, to the quality numbers. But the discipline, some calls went against them today, I thought. But for me, if they had a little bit more actual qualities coming off the bench, numbers, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by members of the women's under 17 national team who will be hosting the World Cup qualifiers right here in Bermuda starting next weekend. We'll be right back.
New year, less stress. With Drop It, grocery shopping is simple. Order online, choose your time, and have your groceries delivered straight to your door. No lines, no rushing, just the food you need when you need it. Make the new year easier with Drop It. Brought to you by Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
The pink sands beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the longtails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset, and every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian. Lady Silence, proudly Bermudian.
You ever crack open a Coke and just... perfect.
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
And welcome back. And we're going to invite in Coach Gary Adams. We have Coach Carl Roberts. We have 2 players as well. First, I'm going to start with you, Gary. Obviously, us hosting this tournament, being on home soil, how are things going in this training camp?
I mean, we had a good Christmas camp, bro. But besides that, had a good Christmas camp, and but the training camp's interesting because we have a very good balance of a lot of players that are way off island, and we also have a lot of players that are on island who are returning today. So the next week's going to be vital now that we have everybody together to make the most of preparation for our first game on Saturday. But it's a good group, so we're looking forward to it.
And you have 2 players with you. Who may they be?
So I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, you have 2 players with you. Who may they be?
Yeah, so we have Zalei Showers and Janaya Seeley, which is great. I mean, they're experienced players who were with us last year. So they're one of the very fortunate ones that had the experience of playing against Mexico. And not to put no pressure on them, but we are looking forward to their leadership this week. They had the experience and they're great young ladies. So we're looking forward to them, raising the team.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go to Zalei because she had the biggest smile when she said, but you said not too much pressure. So Zalei, obviously as a leader of this team, or looked at as a leader of this team, and the experience that you've had thus far playing international football, how do you think the team shapes up for next week?
I think as a potential leader for this team, I think the preparation we have done, we're ready to play, and some of our players have played in this tournament before, so we know what to expect. And we really want to get out like to the group stages and just have fun.
Yeah. Do you feel any added pressure that you're home, or do you feel more comfortable now that you're home? You play these games at home.
I say it's always pressure wherever we go, so I would look at it as a positive way since we have our supporters, friends, and family to actually motivate us and support us games.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go to Janaya next. Carl, I'm going to come to you in a minute. But Janaya, playing in front of family and friends, you don't often get to do so internationally. So, how are you feeling about this experience? On home soil.
I'm excited. I can't wait because it's like I'm top of the age group now, and my family being able to see me play my last year is like it means something a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, from seeing you play in other international tournaments, you've got that little fire under your belly. So, talk a little bit about that because what gets you up for games.
Just the vibe. Like if we go into the game with a good vibe, it's just like it's easier to get through without having tension between teammates, and it's just when we keep the vibe up, it's always a good game.
Yeah. And Carl, working with these young ladies, you've been working with these young ladies for quite some time. But how do you think they match up against the opposition? What little have you seen of the opposition? How do you think they match up?
So we just do our best to prepare the girls as best as possible. No matter if it's attacking, defending, set pieces, restarts, we just do our best to perform. But I can honestly say, Earl, that this team is in a much better standing than they were last year. They're a lot better prepared than last year.
One thing we notice all the time when it comes to our players is size and stature when it comes against some opposition. Trying to negate that and playing a style that kind of would help us to play at our best. How difficult is that working out? I mean, you and Gary would have to kind of come up with a plan on how we're going to attack, how we're going to defend through sheer size.
I mean, I'll jump in if I may. And it's interesting. Great question. I mean, we saw with, if you want to take the metaphor, watching the senior men's versus Jamaica, we understand that the game nowadays is all about power, speed, physical athleticism, you know what I mean? But I would like to think that we have a lot of intelligent young ladies, right? So if we can, football's the thinking game, the body follows. So if we think the game, see the game, then honestly, then the ball's faster than everybody, all right? You can't run as fast as the ball. So if we can just be smarter, then that's what's going to get you through the advantage, right? And I think we have a good group of ladies technically and, intellectually that we can start to like make great progress.
Sure. I'm going to bring my co-host in to ask questions. Punchy, you have any questions for these young ladies or even the coaching staff?
Very good evening, you all. It's great to have you guys on the show. I wish you all the best. Carl, I'm so glad both of you are in the national program, which is most important in terms of and you had the discussion about the type of football that we're talking about in terms of how Bermudians play against foreign opposition. My question to you guys is that the first game is vital, and how do you think the mindset of the girls are right now for the first game? Because the fickle Bermuda crowd it'll be very fickle, and it's going to be quite a bit of people there to watch these young ladies. And with so many young people now going abroad and playing abroad, there are so many conversations I have with young people. So this is going to be really a test. Would you say so? A real good test of the nerves for these young ladies, especially in front of the Bermuda fans?
I'll take most definitely, Mr. Deal. It's always a test. It's always we had a nice discussion with the girls the other day about international games and how important it is
Oh,
to
you gotta
see
be fucking kidding me.
whether a player's left-footed or right-footed. What touch they take their first touch with, how they run with the ball. So it's about figuring out our position just off the first couple of touches. So like I said, I think the girls and the young ladies, I'm sorry, in a good space. Again, we just do our best to perform. But it's I think this is a good group, and I encourage them that this is a good group to take females football to the next level. In all honesty, and quite a bit of these players that are part of this team, this under 17 team, are actually under 15. So we're gonna have them for the next 2-3 years. So it's a good group that we're working with right now, and we just have to encourage them and support them as best as we can as Bermuda.
Yeah, Griff.
Yeah, twofold for Carl. You said that the team is better prepared than the team last year. Could you elaborate on that? In what way you feel better prepared? And also, you said you have some players coming back from last year's team. It's good to have that experience, that they had that experience. How many of those players do you have?
I feel that good question, Andrew. The team is a lot better technically. Even though we qualified last year, technically, we struggled quite a bit in keeping possession of the ball, organization, just understanding. So we have better players that understand the game a bit more, as well as better technical players. So it's been a pleasure to really take the game to the next level. Because technically they're just a better group. So I think that they stand a good chance of doing well in front of Bermuda.
Mm. Let me jump in, Janaya. What did you learn about last year's tournament that you're bringing to your teammates to expect this year? Just so the ones who did not play last year will understand what this is all about.
The speed of play for sure. Cause when we went in January, it was like we was playing on their level. But when we went in April, it was way quicker and like we had to live up to their standards. So it was difficult, but I feel like having that mindset going into next week, we would be much more prepared.
Yeah. And Zalay, what about you? How do you think how things transpired last year? You can kind of help to turn around to make it a little more successful this time around.
I think like games where like I just for like the standards and also like just play quicker.
We're having a lot of problems hearing you, but it's okay. We'll come back to you. Carl, I think Punchy alluded to it. Game one, it's important to get that first game underway and have a positive result. But looking at because primarily Bermuda's always like a slow starter in tournaments. How do we change that? How do we get them to be turned on right away, kind of thing?
As Coach Gary said earlier, I think our Christmas camp went quite well, and we talked quite a bit about the girls of speed of play. We talked about having a good start. We talked also about just even whether they're going to get water breaks, and coming back from water breaks, they got to run in, just being sharp, looking to be sharp at every moment, So we've been talking to them, Mr. Dio, about just sharpness and being ready, So we're looking to get a good start. Look, we're having a good start to the tournament.
I'm gonna stick up for you girls, the players. If you don't get a fast start, I'm calling out the coaches. Coach Carl, Coach Garrett, all the four people get a fast start.
Absolutely, Drew.
Punchy, any other questions?
Yes, I have a question or a comment that I want to ask the two young ladies. This show, which is actually being followed by quite a few people, our show. Let me ask you a question. Commenting on and speaking about the game, and how do you feel? Because this is a lot of new to a lot of people in Bermuda now, having a show like this, talking about your experiences. You seem to be quite confident in what's going to happen on Saturday night. And it's really good to know. But let me ask you another thing. These training camps, they've really helped you in which way? The training camps that you have done already, like over Christmas, what has it really done for you?
Any one of you two?
I'll start. Because we have a lot of players from away, bringing us all back together to play together. It just sees what team we have going into the tournament, and then all our attitudes and how comfortable we are with each other, speaking to each other as teammates. It's just, yeah.
What about you, Zalay?
Oh, I agree with that. It's really about like we're abroad and how they want to work with, they want to do. I think it really like how the want us to play. So Christmas camp we are training every day. So it really that what is expected.
Okay. Any final question, Griff?
Yeah, I want for the players. Your coaches back in the days, they were known as like tough tackling, ball winners. I think I'm still got some stud marks from playing against both of them. But what players in your team are like your coaches in that regard? I want to look out for somebody.
I guess you could say Evans and Riley.
Yeah. Okay.
And Daly, out of Bridge, for sure.
Would you agree with that, Coach?
I agree. Most definitely.
Maybe not
She
as
might even have
good,
to,
but yeah.
Janaya might even have to, and Zalay might even have to include their names.
Be shy about it.
Yeah. Just before we let you all go, Carl, let me ask you, I have a question from someone. Are all the overseas players included in the team? Were you able to get them all back?
As far as I know, like Coach Gary mentioned earlier, as far as I know that they're all expected back today besides one. Riley Khan should be coming in, I believe, Monday, tomorrow.
Okay.
But everybody else should be in by today.
Okay. All right. Well, you will have our support right from the start. Good luck on Saturday night. Do Bermuda proud. Just remember, it's it's Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. Hopefully, the Bermuda Football Association is on everywhere and have you girls out everywhere this week leading up to the game. I know it's late, but give you guys some support to make sure that Bermuda comes out and supports you guys for this very important tournament. And as you say, Janaya, your last one in this age group? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, all the best. And if it's yours as well, Zalay is all the best. And Carl, to you and the coaching staff, with Gary, just get them motivated, keep them up, and let them enjoy the football in front of the home crowd. Not many national teams other than the men get a chance to do this at home. So here's an opportunity to do so. All right?
Absolutely.
So,
yes.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Thanks for your time.
Okay, we're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk First Division picks and who's coming up. We'll be right back.
Pink sands beneath the clear blue sky, where the ocean meets the land, and the long tails fly in Bermuda. Our hearts belong to this beautiful island. As an island, we are strong, proudly Bermudian. In every single way, from the sunrise to the sunset. every single day for over 135 years. It's been clear, Paige Silas proudly Bermudian, bringing us near. Cause we are proudly Bermudian. Paige Silas proudly Bermudian.
You ever crack open a Coke and just... perfect.
It's that cold, classic hit that never lets you down.
Whether you're chilling with friends or just need a break, you can't go wrong with Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Nothing else compares.
Proudly distributed by Butterfield and Vallis.
Looking for something refreshing, refined, and alcohol-free? Discover Maison Perrier Chic, sparkling water blended with real fruit juices for a sophisticated non-alcoholic cocktail experience. Crisp, refreshing, and effortlessly chic, perfect for any occasion. Distributed by John Barrett & Sons and available at Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
And welcome back. Well, we had some messages, first of all, to the young ladies and the team, all the best. And for those fans, they will play on Saturday night at 7 p.m. They'll play Suriname. On Monday night at 7 p.m., Bermuda will play Bonaire. And then on Wednesday night at 7 p.m., Bermuda will play Panama. Those are the World Cup qualifiers for the under-17s. There was another team, St. Kitts and Nevis, who withdrew from the tournament. So there's only 3 nights of football as opposed to 5 nights.
Do you know why they withdrew? Financial, lack of player availability?
They haven't said, but I'm pretty sure it's something to do with visas.
Visas,
to go to Trump America.
Trump is that.
Yeah. So let's get into the first division. We saw on Saturday night. You was gonna say something, Greg?
Yeah, that said, did the Trump America, did the other countries that are coming here, did they have issues with visas because they do restrictions?
Well, remember, they would have known they needed visas in advance.
Right.
St. Kitts were just put on a list to get special or get visas to go to United States of America.
Yeah, right.
They didn't support Trump. They didn't support him in his bid to overtake Venezuela. So that's the fallout. Yeah. But yeah, last night at PHC Stadium, it was Robin Hood defeating St. David's 2-1. Remember, Punchy, St. David's beat Robin Hood the first half of the season down in St. David's, and then this time around they gave them another run for their money. Are you shocked at that?
I really am. Again, we're talking about the season wears on. How many of your players are injured? Your best players are injured. I think that might be a question with Robin Hood. But St. David's that was a surprise score. Really surprising. We never knew who was going to show up in St. David's. But for Robin Hood, again, it looks like promotion is on the cards for them, doesn't it?
Yes, pretty much.
How close are they to being promoted? They must only have to win like 1 or 2 more games, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think say. Yeah. Because remember, they're only playing 12 games now. Is it 12 games? Yeah, 12 games. So they have they're playing 8. So they only got 4 games left, and they have 21 points. The next team, with a win their next game, they're pretty much promoted.
Right?
Yeah. So and then today, the battle of Somerset Eagles and Somerset Trojans, 0-0. With Robin Hood's win, they go 2 points ahead of Somerset because they were 3 points ahead going into today after that win last night. But Somerset Trojans unable to score against the Eagles. Of late, the Eagles have come on. They seem to be a new team since winning, since Christmas when they made their way through to the Shield final and then actually won it. So a lot of different looks at Somerset Eagles right now, Griff.
All I have to say is thank you, Eagles. I don't see 6 any picks this week. Save me this week, Eagles. Yes, all the Eagles people out there. Thank you for saving me. I was the only one bright enough to pick a draw.
No, lucky enough to pick a draw.
Hey, what? I was tomato.
But Somerset Trojans, Punchy, they started off with a bang, but of late things seem to have dried up for them. What's going on?
Yeah, it seems that way. I guess also about who's here. Where they have overseas players that came back to play over the holiday for them. But yeah, it seems. Look what's happened there, man, Robin. Look at these two scores this weekend. Seems odd, doesn't it? Because I'm sure we guys picked Somerset to win that game. But also with Somerset, again, it could be that this time of the season, the wear and tear, some of your players are not probably injured, but that would be a cause for concern in terms of if during the promotion hunt and what I speak about, what happens next year for them at this stage? Where would they be at this stage in the other division? Yeah. So I would think that's something there to look at. I'm seeing them play twice, and again, they have a young group of guys. But the seniority is what they lack, I think. Again, I can keep pointing my finger at that. And like I said, also, what I would add to that is that are they now in a rebuilding stage that if they're promoted, it's a plus. If they're not, they're still going to be rebuilding. So what is the plan, really? Promotion plus development, which I think is what's happening. Because for a fact, I got the news today. When was the last time Somerset Cricket Club actually won the FA Cup?
It's been a number.
I heard it was something like 30-something years. They haven't won the FA Cup.
That long?
Yeah, since 19 years. The guy that does all the research said to me, I think it's over 30-something years that Somerset has not won an FA Cup. Really interesting. Okay. Really interesting in terms of their history and what they are now. But I think what's they're playing is again with Kenny there and what they're doing. They got more people following them. The crowds are coming back out, and because of the young players, and they have families that are going to follow them. So I think there's a plan up there other than just promotion.
But you saw they struggled last week.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss the opportunity to take a little cup match dig while we're here. So you're saying Somerset hasn't won the FA Cup in about 30 years, while the other end of the island, St. George's won the first one a few years ago. So there's a difference.
Yeah. Good point.
Silver City.
Difference, yeah. It's not. Yeah. That's a good point.
I was going to mute your mic, but I decided not to allow you to put your foot in your mouth.
You know what was coming. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah, but I just watch. I watch. Watching Somerset and their, what they're about, and it seems that I think what's good to see is that the crowds are coming back out to watch these youngsters play for something. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, but I saw them last week when they played against Wolves. It didn't look like much difference between Somerset and Wolves. I expected them to thump Wolves just because of the opposite ends of the table, but they're marginally better, and it showed in the game. So against Eagles is not that surprising. That's why I went to draw. I don't think Somerset's actual play is lifting them head and shoulders above. It might be a little bit, but they're not way beyond everybody else in the first division.
Yeah, definitely. And then the other batch of late, Wolves have come on because they drew 3-3 with Southampton Rangers in a battle that Wolves were leading at 1.2-0, and then Rangers had the lead 3-2, and then Wolves scored late in the game, similar to last week's Boulevard St. George's game. That saw Boulevard go up 2-0, and then St. George's came back to lead 3-2, and then in the end, Boulevard got to go for a point. So it's just like similar to that. So just your thoughts on Wolves, Punchy, the team you like to talk about, Wolves.
Yeah, I know. I've been past the training session on Thursday, had a little peek in. They had the numbers there. A good result. a good result. But I don't, they're not promotion in them this year. No, I don't see it. I just don't see it right now with where they are in the league. And they started off with a low bang, but they're just faded away. And well, this is a good result for them. This is a very good result for them. But are they going to be promoted? Like I said, no. I don't think so. There's a few things that have to be done there for Wolves. I do believe, because I do think they do have quality there, and they have numbers. So who would you start pointing the fingers at? That will be a cause for concern for Wolves. Or is the coaching staff, or are the players not really putting the effort in on these games with what they have? But it's for me, it's a question of why we'll go on to watch the training session. Just watch 5 or 10 minutes. Tori's involved with that, and I speak with him a bit about what I think Wolves need, what needs to be happening there. But they seem like, I don't know, man. These results are just not been in their favor, and so there's still something wrong with Wolves. There's still something not right with them. Trust me. Yeah. So
what you're talking about, again, if you're saying they're rebuilding or they have a plan and it's not quite there, and they're saying with some if they're rebuilding, what you have to come to is that each team has like 2 or 3 young players that are really, really good.
Yeah.
What you worry about then is, do those players have faith in whatever they're doing there to rebuild and stick it out? Because when the season's over and the voters come, teams are looking to pick off some of your better players if they're getting disenchanted with what you're doing. Say, hey, I can't spend the next 3-4 years in first division waiting you get it over. I want to play Premier now. And teams like, okay, come to us, you play. So teams have to fight with that as well.
Good point, Griffin. That's a very good point, Griffin. Because I tell you, Griffin, I think that like people are talking about that. Some of the players at Wolves, the young players, there are people looking to recruit them next year if Wolves stay down. And you guys have talked about it. In all honesty, that's what I see happening. I see that happening. Robin Overbin may be good looking out for some of these players. And don't forget, Wolves in the city too, in town, right? So that makes it easy for them to go to training sessions, rather if they pick a team in town, which I think most of Wolves youngsters will do. You're not going to get a good youngster from Wolves going up to Somerset to play. I don't think so. How would he get to training? So it is about that. What you're saying, Griffith, is very true. There's going to be question marks for teams like the Wolves. I'm not too sure about Rangers though. But Wolves and Eagles, their players will stay there. Their best players will stay there.
Yeah.
So I want to make clarify a point that I tried to make last week. I didn't get across. What I was saying that, and I was wrong for probably doing this, I used Rangers as an example. I should have kept it generic. But I said, if you have players in your neighborhood that are driving past your club to go play elsewhere, that's a slap in the face for your club. So some people I wasn't speaking about a specific player or parents or family. I was just talking about a club in general. If your club cannot attract players from your surrounding area, then you're not giving them what they need. So you're falling short in some way.
Yes, good point.
That consistently happens.
Good point. Very good point, Griff. And that's a very good point. Yes, sir.
Are you talking about Bike World or Auto Solutions?
Yeah.
But Punchy, to your point, the last time some of the Trojans won the FA Cup was the 89-90 season.
That's what I thought. Yeah, 89-90 season. That's exactly it. That's right. Yeah. That's over 36 years. Am I correct, you guys? I'm like 36 years.
Yeah.
That's how long it's been. Yeah. So exactly. I was like, what? And so that's again, when you look at that, where they are, and we're talking about Wolves too, but what can happen? We do know that, again, repeating what you said, Griff, is like, how come those youngsters would go past your training session, go somewhere else, if they don't see no growth? And it's going to happen, because a lot of young people play out of the island now. They come back and they're being coached or been saying, look, hey, come play for us. This will be better for you if you can get the national program also. So a cause for concern for teams like Wolves.
So if you want to put up a picture to go at that point, I say you put up a picture of Hamilton Parish. Once the players lost faith in the management or executive or whatever, and they weren't sure, they all
That's right.
left. So when they started the season, they didn't have enough players. So
That's right.
if your players lose faith in what you're doing, whether it's rebuilding or management change or different philosophy, like it's hard to be successful.
Yeah. Well, let's take a look at those picks, Griff. What you were talking about. The first match was Devonshire Colts and Devonshire Cougars. We all took Devonshire Colts, and that ended in a 1-1 draw. PHC Zebras, Dandy Town Hornets. Punchy, you and I took PHC. Griff, you took a draw. Nobody got anything right there.
Yeah,
Paget Lions and St. George's Colts. I took St. George's. You two guys took Paget. St. George's won that. 3-love. Crossroads and North Village. We all took North Village, and they won that 5-2. Social Club and Boulevard. We all took Social Club. Social Club lost 5-4. Southampton Rangers and Wolves. We all took Southampton Rangers. That ended in a 3-3 draw. Robin Hood and St. David's. We all took Robin Hood. That ended with Robin Hood winning 2-1. And then Somerset Trojans and Somerset Eagles. I took the Trojans. Punchy took the Eagles. Griff, you took the draw. So at the end of the day, Griff and I got 3, and Punchy got 2. So Griff, you move on to 67. I move on to 62. And Punchy, you're on 60. So this week coming up is FA Cup. There are 2 games scheduled on the schedule for Saturday night. I don't know how that works with the under-17 ladies playing. I'm hoping that the association make a change so that the under-17 girls can get the support that is required from the country hosting an international event. But we'll see, because we know that it wouldn't happen if the men were playing. So the first FA Cup game scheduled for Saturday is Devonshire Cougars and the Island Bulls from the Corona League. I'm going to go with Cougars. Punchy?
I'm gonna go with Cougars also. What's the name of this team? The Island who?
Island Bulls FC.
Island, yeah. I think I'm gonna go with Cougars there.
Okay. And Griff?
Yeah. I don't want to raise no Cougars.
All right. Okay. The second match. This is a barn burner. North Village Rams versus the Dandy Town Hornets.
Oh wow.
Punchy, you're up first.
Oh, this is a wow. This is gonna be enough. I'm gonna head to follow my faith, and I'm gonna go with North Village.
Okay. And North Village are home, just so you know.
Yep.
Griff?
And this is on Saturday night?
Supposed to be on Saturday
Supposed to
night.
be, but I think they're probably gonna be canceled. You're right, Earl.
Yeah.
They would have to. Out of respect for the national program.
Yes, man. The association would not look well having men's games played when the national girls teams are playing. Because
Yeah.
they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it for the men.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's right.
Yeah. So, but
All right.
who are we?
I will pick Village.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh, Earl, pick your draw.
It can be a draw.
Yes.
Any different?
But you know what? I'm going the opposite. I'm taking the Hornets.
Okay.
All right. Make it
Taking
interesting.
the Hornets. All right, Griff, you're up. FC Rhino from the Corona League will play St. George's Colts.
St. George's done. Feel me now. St. George's.
And I'll take St. George's as well. Punchy?
Yeah, I'm taking St. George. I'm with you guys on that.
That's on Sunday, right?
That's on Sunday, yes.
All right.
Okay, so now Inter Bermuda, another Corona team, will host Crossroads. I'm going to take Crossroads for this game. Punchy?
I'm good with you, Earl. I think, yeah, I Inter Bermuda's not a bad team, but I think they were just running the gas of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Griff.
Clean sweep, Crossroads.
Okay. Punchy, you are up. Devonshire Colts play the Young Guns, another Corona Division team.
Jesus.
All these Corona teams here.
Oh, the North is coming. Wow, but yeah.
Corona teams beat a lot of the first division teams early in the season. Back in November.
I'm going to coach you guys.
Okay. Griff?
Colts.
And Colts for the win as well. Okay. Griff, you're up.
Yeah.
Paget Lions host Young Man Social Club.
Woo! Where's this game?
Up at White Hill Field.
Oh dear. All right, come go Paget.
Okay. Both teams are giving up goals. Both teams are giving up goals. Both teams are giving up goals. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna take Social Club, man. Punchy?
I'm backing you. I'm gonna take Social Club for this one. This will be a live wire. I think that I take Social Club up there.
Okay.
That's a game that I would love to see too.
Yeah. And the final match, Somerset Trojans host the PHC Zebras.
Whoa.
I'm gonna take PHC. Punchy?
I think the firepower with PHC, and Somerset will be hurt for this, but I think the firepower of PHC should win this.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a perfect, and to add to that, there's going to be a perfect test for this young team.
Yes. They would want to put on a good show.
Oh yeah.
Even if they lose, they would want to put on a good show. To prove to themselves that they deserve to be in the league next season in the Premier League.
That's right.
And what they could possibly do against a PHC. Yeah. Griff?
Yeah, I want to go 1-1. Punchy set me up for this one. Somerset has won the FA Cup in 36 years. This is the year things look, but nah. PhD.
Yeah, right. Oh my God, yes.
All right. Well, hold on a sec. Let's just have a look. See. Yeah. Not to worry. You gotta sometimes go on and learn. Sometimes you gotta go on and learn.
Hey, Lugo, that's why he's trailing me in the picks.
Not to worry. Everything's meant to change, but it takes time. Never be in a hurry.
Yes.
All right, fellas. Well, we want to wish you a wonderful week coming up. Obviously, next week, Sunday, we'll have the show where we will have the fresh result from the women's under-17 team, where they will face off against Suriname. We'll know that result. And then, obviously, the FA Cup dates. Games that will be played on Sunday, and hopefully we get an early message of the Saturday night matches. But yeah, let's hope.
Well, yeah, I'm hoping that again, you guys. I'm hoping that the country will come and support the young ladies. This is the first time for them, especially playing that many games on home soil too. So this is gonna be a real test for them. But I'm glad that we have them on the show, so that people that watch this show can have an insight in terms of what the association is doing and the coaching staff and the young ladies themselves. A wonderful opportunity for them.
Definitely. All right, Griff?
I like to leave with this. I got to see a lot of the viewers yesterday at the funeral because it was a big crowd, and it surprises me every time somebody comes and says, "Hey, I plan my whole Sunday out. You guys are part of it." So I like to say, I hope that we entertain or inform everybody, and thank you for letting us be part of your Sunday.
So true. Indeed. All right. Folks, have a good night. We'll be back next week Sunday with another edition of the Island Stats Football Show. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye, fellas.